welcome back to Max Reaction. How are you doing today? I'm doing alright. Other than I have a million breakouts all over me. I don't know if you can see that, but it's all over my stomach and everywhere. And I don't know if it's from COVID-19 or not. I've seen where some people do get broke out, so it might be. My throat's still hurting, and I haven't got my results back. I took a test a couple days ago. I think I might get them back tomorrow, so we'll know for sure. But anyway, we're going to react to a video that was requested. I think it'll be very interesting. It's the title is Long Distance Studies. It's a documentary film about foreign students that go to the Philippines and study. And I've watched other vlogs where it was people that lived in the Philippines and they're there to study, and they have nothing but positive things to say, you know. And if I were younger, I would have loved to go to the Philippines and study just for the culture, you know. Learning a new culture at a young age, that's big. It expands your mind, it expands the way you think. When you stay in one place for so long, you know, I never left the United States till I was the age of like 30. And when you do that to yourself, you think a certain way because you're not around other cultures, other people, how people live, how people live life, you know. And I think just doing that makes you a better person and expands your mind so much. So we're going to check out and see what these students have to say about studying in the Philippines. So let's go ahead and check it out.
Irene. You can call me Irene.
Irene, hello.
Why did you study here in the Philippines?
I was trying to find an exchange program, and I was I really wanted to go to a place that had a culture very different from
Yes.
mine. I come from Spain, and I think Philippines is already a big difference.
Absolutely, like I was saying, culture, learning new culture. Plus, it's beautiful in the Philippines. The nature's gorgeous.
How long have you been here in the Philippines?
This is June will be my 6th month.
I'm jealous.
Okay. How do you adjust with the culture of the Philippines to your own country?
I didn't know. I knew a little bit before coming because you know there's so many Spanish connections to Filipino culture.
Right.
But when I
Tons.
came here, most of the things were different also. So I guess with the help of people explaining and
A lot of learning.
I know I'm not in my country, so I just adapted to where I am.
Have you had any Filipino friends?
Yeah.
How many?
Of course.
Actually, like in all of my classes, I just have Filipinos. So
That's awesome, and I think it's like a silly question. Do you have Filipino friends? When you go to the Philippines, even for a short amount of time, if you're there, you end up making friends because, let's face it, Filipinos are very friendly, at least the ones I've encountered. I'm sure there's a few that's not, but the ones I've encountered, I've made many friends since I've been over there, and it's just easy to do so. Here in the United States, you know, sometimes it's harder to make friends because people are more off-put to themselves.
and I live in a dorm with 3 Filipinas. So I'm surrounded by just Filipinos, like almost all the time. I have friends on the islands, but mostly
Nothing wrong with that.
I think it's easy because all Filipinos know English. The other
Yes.
problem in Asian countries is I really have a hard time like communicating with people. But here it's fine because everyone speaks English, and when I came, everyone was like so excited for me to come. They were all coming to talk to me and everything. So
Warm welcomes.
Do you miss your country when you're staying here?
Well, you always miss certain things. Like I did this because I wanted to, and it's also a short amount of time, so you don't get very homesick because you know you will have to come back. So it actually makes you want to experience this as much as you can. But yeah, of course, like we don't eat rice, so here I'm eating rice 3 times a day.
Yeah, even when I'm on vacation, I miss certain things about home. I mean, how could you not? You've grew up and you've raised you got raised in another country, you're gonna miss it. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. I think you should miss it a little bit at least.
It's so different. Tell me why do you want to study here in the Philippines?
The main reason was actually the culture, like just in like the type of country, sorry, to start to see like a different place, different people, and because if I go to any other country in like Europe or North America or even Australia, I think the culture is very similar still to like the European one. But
Right.
I think Philippines has got the Asian country
Absolutely.
culture, but also it's easy because they all speak English.
Good choice.
But sometimes
Great choice.
we're not good at English, but we can still
People are not confident, but at least they understand. In China, they won't even look at you.
Are there some other schools that it's recommended rather than
Mapua?
No, actually, Mapua has got a special program with my university back in Spain. So it started just 2 years ago. So some Spaniards are starting to come here.
That's cool.
And hopefully in 1 year or 2, Filipinos will start going back to us.
Very, very cool program.
what is one difference between the education here in the Philippines and in your country?
Good question.
In university level, it's very different. There's so much more students in our classes. Maybe depends on your course, but maybe there can be classes in uni with, I don't know, 100 students and just the teacher giving lecture.
Is that in Spain?
Also, we usually have 2 teachers for the same subject. One of them will teach you theory, and the other one will help you with problems. So we have 2 sessions,
Huh,
like
okay.
different. Also, our labs are different. Here's more what high school type will be in Spain.
What is your
More
first
focused.
impression when you first came in here in the Philippines?
The heat.
Yes. Heat all the
I came
time.
in January. January is a winter month for us. Actually, like 2 weeks after I came, it was snowing in my hometown, and then here it's like what?
I got to experience that two times ago when I went to the Philippines. You know, it's always hot in the Philippines, and I love the heat. I love that kind of weather. That's what I want. But when we came home, literally, I had to drive 6 hours from the airport. That's how far the airport is from where I live. In a blizzard, in a snowstorm. So I went from extreme heat to a blizzard. It was crazy. A crazy experience. All in one day, basically. 24 hours.
They were all like wearing.
And no, I wasn't. I knew it was summer here. I'm just surprised that there's people wearing long sleeves and jackets.
Yes.
And I'm like, what?
I couldn't do that.
This time of weather, it's really cold for us.
Yeah, that's like crazy. I'm still like, no.
On a side note, some people wear long sleeves so they don't get sunburnt for sun protection. It ain't all about the heat and the cold. A lot of times it's just about the protection. Especially if you ride a motorcycle or a trike or something, you're in the sun all day, you don't want it beating down on you.
Do you experience any problems when you stay here in the Philippines?
Traffic.
Sometimes the culture is hard because we don't have the same culture and it's hard to adapt to, but I would say everything is
Lots of traffic.
very okay.
Is it hard to travel here in the Philippines by yourself, or you're always with someone?
No, most of the times I've been with people because there was always someone
Right.
who wanted to join.
Right.
But I don't think it would be that hard. Depends on where you go. Like I don't go out at night alone. That's what everyone says and stuff. But for the rest, I think it's okay. It's hard because there's traffic.
Right.
My experience was like just take the jeepney, go on Google Maps, and be like, oh, I'm close enough. Could you stop, please? But yeah, I'm usually with
It works.
Is it really hard, like when you're giving the money to the driver or something?
I think the first time it would be hard, but the first time I took a jeepney by myself, I had already done it with Filipinos for
Right.
some time.
Learn
So
by
I
viewing.
you already know how it works, blah blah blah. So at least I wasn't so lost. So every time, like when I started commuting alone instead of just Grab, because Grab is easy for even for exchange. But for the jeepney, I only took jeepney alone after I have like I had taken it with Filipinos, so I already know.
That's the smartest thing to do. Know what to expect.
Are you going to provinces sometimes?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I was in Batangas with a girl from the IS that she lives in Batangas, so I went to visit her house. I've been in the north of Luzon. I went in a trip with a guy from the IS actually,
Cool.
and then I've been traveling in. I had a whole month of vacation, so my parents actually came from Spain to come. So we went to Palawan, and then I was in Cebu.
Awesome.
Seguidor, so
She's been all over.
What is one part of your culture that you'd like to share with us?
I would like to share, especially all the connections that are with the Spanish, because there's so many connections in food, in
Yes,
culture.
yeah.
But I have encountered that many Filipinos are not aware of that.
Yes.
Sometimes they speak and they're like, "Oh, this is Spanish, you know," and they are like, "Oh, what?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is just the same." So I think you actually know a lot, or you could know a lot about Spanish culture, but it's just that they don't know.
Can you give one example of food?
Yeah, adobo is a Spanish word. Empanada is a Spanish.
Really?
Yeah, see,
Cool.
like, Filipinos don't know. But
I know empanada, but I don't
yeah,
know adobo.
Adobo is a Spanish word. Yeah.
Lots of Spanish words for sure.
Here you say adobo for the whole plate,
Yes,
the
yes.
dish. Adobo for us is just the mix of the species that you put on a meat in order
Okay.
to preserve and then after that cook.
Learning.
It's not one specific, but it's a Spanish. A fritada is a Spanish word.
What?
Afridada. What is it?
Is there any more?
Oh,
If you
there's-
let me think, I'm sure I'll come up with some other. Because, you know, it's the same. Like, oh, yeah, I know this. Oh, you say hígado. We say hígado is a type of meat, like the liver. I know people eat it here. It's the same hígado, it's a Spanish word. So, there's so many things that they speak. I'm like, yeah, I know.
They didn't tell us about that.
Yeah, I know. So, I encounter so many Filipinos that are like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah.
To be a foreign student here in the Philippines.
Yeah, I would say. It's fun to be in the Philippines. It's hard to adapt and everything, but I think that's the fun part.
If you have any friends in your country, would you recommend them to study here?
All of them. All of
Yeah,
them.
I would try. Most people is I mean, you have to understand for us, it's so far, it's so unknown, and people will have some like.
It's an
ideas
adventure,
that might
baby.
not be true, but as for being in a European country, they might think this is not as safe, or they have these ideas before coming. But I think it's worth it. It's not.
Hell yeah, it's worth it.
Only 6 months. I actually leave after this year.
Really?
Yeah.
And she'll be sad. She'll be sad when she leaves.
They don't allow us to stay any longer.
Why?
Because you know this kind of contract that the university
okay.
has
Yes.
with my other university.
Only 6 months.
It's only 6 months.
She'll remember it forever.
Been here for 2 terms already?
Yeah, this is my second term.
If you have any chance to go back here in the Philippines,
That's a yes.
Yeah, maybe I actually have 1 more year in Spain to graduate, and then who knows? Maybe after that I come.
yeah.
She'll be back.
Thank you.
She'll be back. She seemed like a nice, sweet girl, and she'll always remember it.
My name is David. Do you want my surname as well, perhaps?
Yes.
David Fredriksson.
Yes.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I am 26 years old.
Yeah. Where do you come from?
I come from Sweden.
Sweden.
Specifically Stockholm.
I would have guessed Sweden.
So what's the reason that you came here in the Philippines?
So I was actually offered this, we can call it a project. It's actually a master thesis from
Wow.
a professor in a course that I have back in Sweden.
Yeah.
So he has a collaboration project with Lapua University, and specifically Dr. Delias B. Sonoro,
Cool.
who is a professor in material science, if I'm not mistaken. So they have this collaboration project, and every year they send 2 to 3 students from Sweden to Mapua, and 2 to 3 students from Mapua to Sweden.
I love that.
And I applied to this project this year, and I got a position. So I'm doing my master thesis with this project.
So how long have you been here?
I've been here for 3 months, so it's like half the time of the master
Right.
thesis. It's prolonged
6
to
months.
6 months. So I do 3 months in Sweden where I actually did like all the prerequisites, all the materials I need. And when I came to the Philippines, I actually started to produce products from it and characterize the products in terms of mechanical properties and chemical properties. I would like to say that I'm a bit traveled guy. I've been traveling a lot in my life. I think this is my 46 or 47 country.
Whoa!
I
Wow.
found so many beautiful sceneries in the Philippines. I visited a lot of different islands.
been everywhere.
I went around in Luzon. It's like the main
Yeah,
area
yeah,
of
yeah,
Luzon. So I've been traveling around to different provinces and different areas. I recently came back from Palawan. Unfortunately, I was stranded there and it was really bad weather, but Coron was very beautiful.
What
Absolutely.
can you say would be your favorite place in the Philippines?
That is a tough one, actually. But I think I have to say it's a place called Magalawa Island.
Magalawa Island.
It's northwest of Zambales. Why I consider it to be the most beautiful place is because it was the first time I witnessed a sunrise on the beach with like turquoise
He'll never forget it.
water and white sand. I mean, it was amazing.
When you were traveling, you get to experience all different kinds of food. Have you ever tried Filipino food?
Oh yes, yes. I try to eat as much as I can.
What do you like?
Good answer.
That's also dead end. I must say it's in between. Oh, this is hard. I think bulalo and sinigang. Both of them are really. The reason why I love sinigang is because, so a little bit background on me. My mother is from Armenia and my father is from Sweden, and I'm born in Sweden. So this is like a nostalgia for me when I tried sinigang. This is what I was raised on, and I love it. I love it.
Right.
The best sinigang is probably with salmon.
How did you adjust with the Philippine culture?
I wouldn't say it was like a big adjustment, honestly. I guess I'm a pretty like carefree person, so I really don't have any problems with adjusting in that sense. I don't really feel like this. It is an adjustment. I just try to
Moves with
fit
the
into
flow.
the system right now. The Filipinos have been very, very friendly. Obviously, I love it here. It's a very beautiful country, tropical country.
What do you think of Mapua University?
It's a very fun university, I would say. You focus a lot on knowledge, you focus a lot on the development, and you focus a lot on the involvement of the people here and the students.
So what do you do in your spare time if you don't research?
Well, I try to be outside as much as possible,
Yes.
so spend time with friends, spend time going to, I don't know, different places, bars. I'm not really big of a shopping guy, I don't shop that much. If I'm not outside, I'll probably just watch some series at home, or listen to music, I try to create music, using different programs. I'm very interested in music, I mean, it's a big part of my life. I listen to Filipino music.
Maybe he's part of
My
Filipino.
mother is probably very worried, but she knows that it doesn't really matter what she's going to say. She knows I'm a responsible person and I take care of myself, and I would probably do what I want to do. I mean, in the event that she would say, like, please don't go, I would probably not do it, because I don't want her to be hectic for a long time before I'm traveling.
So how old are you when you start traveling by yourself?
I think I was 15 the first time I
15?
traveled, when I went to Chile. I was not alone though, I went with a couple of friends, otherwise my mother would never allow that.
15
I
is
can
still
see
young.
myself going back to the Philippines a lot of times in my life. I would probably consider the Philippines would be like top 5 countries I've been to so far. Just because everything is revelating in this country. I love the food, I love the sceneries, there's so many different places I can visit. And every time you discover one place, there's like 5 more places that are better.
Right.
You can never satisfy the travel, like the inner traveler in you when you're in the Philippines. So I can definitely see myself going back here.
This is a wonderful
I'll
video.
probably bring my friends as well as family as, I don't know, future family. We will see.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. And all of what they say is true. The beauty, the friendliness, the learning the culture, And if you're watching this video and you're young and you have the option to travel, do it. Do it. You can learn so much more by traveling than just being here or being wherever you're at learning. You learn from people, you know, stuff that you can't even learn in a classroom, but just through experiences. And that's what these people are doing, these exchange students. They're learning through the experience of traveling, being at a different place, being in a different culture, experiencing the food and everything else. That gets me excited. Anyway, I wish I'd have done more of that when I was younger. I didn't, but if you're still young, or even if you're old and you haven't traveled, do it. Do it, do it, do it. If you've never been to the Philippines, try it out. You won't be disappointed. But anyway, I loved it. What'd you think of this video? Comment down below. Let me know. Let me know what else you react to next, and I'll see you next time. Peace.